Hello there and welcome. In this video I got you 10 tips and tricks related to unlocking and progressing through Monster Train 2. It is sort of an extended beginner's guide where we are going to cover all the things that you need to know to get the full game available to you and how to get there without taking too many hours. So we're going to talk a couple of mechanical things about the starter clans and also about what you need to do to get there. So without further ado, let's get finally started. Number one, Pyre heart unlocks. So these things, nothing works without them story-wise, and I shamefully underestimated that when I started out with the game, that these here are kind of like your story progression quests. The more of these you unlock, the more features you unlock, so take these as your most important first homework in the game, which will allow you to get all the goodies that Monster Train 2 has in store for you. Which leads me directly to number two, the alternative clan leader unlocks. These are really basically mandatory, and without them you are just seeing half of the clan. I might be over-exaggerating here to some degree, but actually not, because every hero has 3 different specializations and comes with a base card that very much brings a different flavor into each build, and especially when we're starting out and not having too many options, this weighs so much. So next goal for your list after unlocking the Pyre Hearts, try to get the clans all to level 5 at least, so you get the secondary leader unlocked, because to me it made a huge difference between I don't like this game too much, it's a bit boring because things just don't work too... that's why they didn't work. So fret not, unlock things, it helps. Number 3 on this list is directly related to number 1 and 2. When you're still at the beginning of the rung of the ladder, even if you're really good at games like these, you might do yourself a favor by sticking to lower Covenant rank runs. Then you have already the capacity to do so. I personally feel like having way more fun unlocking things more casually in the lower ranks for 2 reasons. For one, I don't get punished so hard when I do a mistake, and my runs are faster through, which leads to 2 things: more XP and less time. And that's more unlocks and less time. While I do enjoy the challenge and everything, I do also feel like the most fun in a challenge is when I have all the tools at my disposal. Therefore, I vouch really for progression's sake for lower Covenant ranks. 0 or 1 are really good points. So 1 I would recommend to people who are really good in the deck building genre, because it's just so much fun to have those randomized things in there. And this is just really good for speedrunning things and getting the XP straight through and minimizing the time per run so you can just get the stuff that you want. Okay, so number 4 brings me directly to some build tinkering things. So when we are starting out and we don't have too many options in the game, it really helped me out a lot to stick to the different champion paths and tinker my whole strategy around my hero. Because your hero's specializations very much give away a direct strategy that you can play around, and especially when you don't have too many cards and or not the knowledge around the game, this is a very good first thing to do. This becomes less and less important the more options you unlock, but still I always try to find a most synergistic hero to my strategy in every decision. Just when you want to grind out successful runs, you get more and more experimentational freedom the more stuff you unlock, and that's all I'm trying to get down to here. But when you're just trying to rail down runs quickly, just take the hero skill that you like most and build around that and stomp the run with that. It really works a charm. Which brings me, related to that, to number 5. Simple combos are really all it takes. So, for example, here in this specialization of this hero, we can apply a lot of Valor on her by just clicking a button and giving her a ton of armor. So this is a very open invitation to make a tank build that revolves around soaking tons of damage on your frontliner while having lots of attack, because Valorant increases attack, and already you have yourself the first angle point for a simple combo. And you can do that practically with every one of these heroes. You just take the first upgrade and then you think about one potent combo that you can utilize there. If you lack the imagination for that right now, or you want to have some more precise examples, I have those in the upcoming points. But in general, a strong, simple combo is something like Pyre, you know? More damage per attack per stack, which means you suffer more the more often you get attacked. So it's very simple. You have a Pyre applicator, and you just need something that whacks often, and simple, strong combo, because it can't scale very much in more and more Pyrogel applications and more attacks. And it has some nice diversity things, like increasing the attack of your creatures and making it more potent this way. And yeah, it's a simple combo, and it's more than enough for the lower ranks to unlock things, and don't break your noggin too much about deeper strategies, and just try out things down the road. So these are the rough basics. Let's talk exact examples. So number 6, I want to talk about the Pyreborn and what you can do with them, and what I personally found to be extremely easy and powerful ways to win the game. So first of all, this is the guy that we're starting with, and he comes always with a Pyregel applicator. That's why I already was talking about that. You also start out with the Fire Starter spell, which basically means all you now need are either cheap spells that you can whack a lot onto the enemy, or you pack up a clan partner that features a lot of multi-attackers. You can go in this department to the Banished or Luna Coven for more magical power. Either way works really darned well. And the whole deal here is that you want to pick up things that are really doing the nasty things, like here, Death Raw attacking 5 times in a row. When you have a lot of Pyrogel stacks, this can be absolutely devastating. Or less rare, Make It Rain, 3 attacks on all enemy units for the expenditure of some gold, which is to this faction practically a joke, because they have so many ways and means to create gold, which is directly the next thing that I want to talk about. Pyregel is not the only trick up your sleeve. Even while Lord Phoenix is not the best player around the gold generation thing, that's Lady Gilda actually, but you still have so many easy ways and means to generate gold. And the easiest of all of them is Avarice. It's a stat that is always available to you when you're playing the Pyreborn, and you just slap it onto a creature and it generates gold. Done deal. This is extremely powerful because you have the ability to A, weaponize money directly, and B, money is always making your build more flexible, so you can dump out cards that you don't want, upgrade more cards, buy more things. It is just making you much faster, much more powerful, and I think the main power for the Pyreborn revolves around that, and your decks should take these advantages, and it's quite easy to force a win into that. With number 7, I want to talk about the Banished a little bit, and things that you can do with these. The early game around them is very, very much centered around Phil as a hero, and Valor as a strategy, and movement as something that you can use to either buff your own troops or get problems out of the way. These are the main things that the Banished do. Valor is a very simple and straightforward mechanic. You get more attack points per Valor stack, and if you are in front of the whole room, you gain armor for each Valor stack. The really nice thing about these is they don't decay, they stay. It's a permanent bonus and allows these guys to do some insane frontline tanking, because they generate armor each turn. They can really resist brutal mauling. The only weakness behind that is AoE attacks can be a little bit more devastating because you can't generate armor in your backline reliably. The Valor is only generating for the frontmost person. That's the first takeaway. But the really nice thing is you have really nice and easy ways and means to move your own creatures back and forth. So it is really easy to say, yeah, no, you won't be, you will be dying this turn, so we move somebody else in front, and couple that up either with healing capacities from the Luna Coven or other buffing capacities from the Lazarus League, or I have also had quite interesting runs with Pyreborn and just utilizing armor around that and direct damage to resolve the problems that would blast away my backline. There's plenty of options, but the main takeaway is their weakness of the Banished is that if something gets into your backline, you really suffer that. Your advantage is you have so many ways and means to move your units out of harm's way and buff them up and or debuff the enemy that you can't manage that, but you should be relying around that. And the second thing that I noticed is they're very, very much revolving around the capacity to buff them up over time. So they aren't they are a ramping up mechanic basically, because most things don't have huge amounts of valor on themselves from the get-go, which brings me to the last point. Starting valor is really, really good for these guys because it allows you to get your weak moment away the fastest. So I hope these are some thoughts that help you out. At number 8, I want to talk about, which is mostly around a combination of Underlegion and Lazarus League. I don't want to go deeper into these two clans because they... I could do an entire video about that, but here's one thing. Lazarus League has with Orechi one huge applicator of unstable. Unstable blows up people once you have more unstable stacks than you have HP. This mechanic is really, really nice to win games, especially when you couple it up with things like damage over time, provided plentiful by the Underlegion. I really found Lazarus League and Underlegion to be an extremely potent combo, because Decay really works damn well, but obviously you can couple this up differently in various ways, but I felt like this was the easiest and most potent way to just blow up the game repeatedly that fell into my hands. I absolutely wanted to mention it. I mean, this game is full of combos that work like that, but I wanted to just get there. Orechi has the ability to apply instability just on spellcast, which is, you know, there, incant. This is just amazing. And eventually you can just blow up everything and take an easy win out of that, which is excellent to just level up these two new factions, which come out very low leveled when you get there. You know, when you unlock them, they're possibly very low leveled compared to the other guys. That's why I wanted to feature that. So number 8, which brings me finally... number 9, which brings me finally to the Luna Coven. So here's a couple of thoughts for these guys in case you were struggling with them. When we unlock them, we have only, or when we have them their first approach, we only have Witchweave available, and Moon Ritual is what we unlock with the alternative clan leader. This is one thing that really bummed me out when I was trying out things that just didn't work, because I have not had access to a regular phasing thing. So if your build revolves around lots of moon cycling, this is served best once you have unlocked these guys on rank 5. First thought. The other thing that I noticed is that it's really, really good to weave these guys into spellcasting strats, because for one, they have stupidly easy access to Conduit, which just brings you more magic power. And the other thing is they also have a fair share of spells that have the attuned stat, which means magic power is multiplied by 5 on these, which opens up insane strats or just nuking stuff. Luna Coven also excels at buffing up their units depending on the moon cycles. Not only weaving moon cycles back and forth is a nice thing, what I found to be an extremely potent beginning strategy was to stick to one specific moon cycle. For example, the Shade Guard is wonderful. They get a lot of stats whenever there's a new moon. So you just couple this up with somebody like, where have we? Here, the Meddler. So now you have always the capacity, as long as this thing is in game, to make sure that there's always new moon. There's also rooms to ensure these things. So this is a very, very low effort way of buffing up your units massively without relying too much on things that you might or might not have unlocked yet. Also, don't get the wrong impression that moon cycling is good only after level 5. You can make good use out of that, especially the Luna Cycle Staff was one of my favorites. I just had the impression that the full potential of cycling builds was only unlocked with Ardoon, but your mileage may vary. Altogether, I feel like the Luna Coven's two main things are spellcasting, either going for full moon, where you have a lot of crowd controlling capabilities, or new moon, which allows you to go for stealth gameplay and lots of nice damage enhancing capabilities, and you have the capacity to just bump up spell power insanely, which makes the Pyreborn very happy, but also the Underlegion and the Lazarus League, which all have bursty spells, so there's a lot of things. So I hope this was a little bit of a thing to get an overview. I know that I haven't went into Lazarus League or Underlegion more into detail, but I don't want to overload this video. More about that, if you want to have that, leave me a comment. Number 10 that I want to talk about now is finishers and center creatures. So this is something that will ensure you victories very, very easily in the progression phase of the game. Rare cards, marked by this purple gem, are excellent cards to just focus your build around. Stuff like, for example, Wrecking Pain. This has single-handedly won me several games where I just drew that card, modded the hell out of it, and duplicated it several times, and we were good to go. You can do this also with stupidly powerful creatures, like here the Hydra Armed Horror is also a very good centerpiece. Just generate lots and lots of equipment, mod the hell out of that thing, and feed everybody to this creature. You will have sometimes experiences where things work out differently than you thought when you want to focus around specific playmaker cards, but it is very, very recommendable that if you feel like, wow, this thing looks like it would be crazy around this and that and upgrade it like this and that, go for it. Because all of these rare cards are fairly powerful on and in themselves, but their real insanity lies in their synergy with upgrades and artifacts. And this is where things go crazy. This Death Roar, we can reduce its costs and we can make it so that it gets doubled whenever we cast it, and all of a sudden we can burn for 2 Ember people like crazy. Very simply, and it is just a very, very simple combo. You always can do so much with enhancing these cards, and bottom line, a rare card that comes your way, that comes fairly decently into your strategy currently played, modded out, duplicated, usually wins the day in lower runs. So I hope this was helpful for you. I really am open for recommendations, what kind of content you want to see for Monster Train 2, because I am still myself also in the unlocking phase. That's why I made this video, because I felt like a lot of things I would have done differently now with that knowledge, and I hope this was a helpful thing for you. Leave your own thoughts and things on the comment section if you'd be so kind, because I always think that 10 things are never enough for a deep topic, and I'm all ears to hear your input. And of course, likes and subscribes are very, very helpful, as is direct support via donations, subscriptions, via YouTube channel memberships, or the links down in the description box. Whatever tickles your fancy, take my deep thanks for the help, all of you out there who do so. And of course, take my thanks for watching this video up until the very end. Appreciate you taking that time, hope the video was helpful, and see you next time.